Before I delete my D&D Beyond membership, a sentence I never thought I would ever say. um, I wanted to take you guys back in time to 1978 when an 11-year-old boy who was in chess club just finished reading a book called The Hobbit. Um, that boy, me, became close friends with one of the other boys in chess club, and we were talking about The Hobbit, and I don't remember how it got brought up, but apparently he had been given a gift for Christmas. It was the box set of a new game called Dungeons and Dragons. I guess not too new at that point. By that point, it had been out for years, but for him, it was new. And he hadn't ever opened it, but he knew that it had pictures that reminded him of the Hobbit on the box. As a matter of fact, I've got this is what that box set looked like, and then some of the material that was in it. It was basically a basic starter set, just like any of the nowadays ones. We had no idea what we were doing, but together we opened that box. And it was just two of us, which is funny because normally, right, you need a DM and then, say, for instance, 3, 4, 5, even 6 or more players. But we were so fascinated with the artwork and the idea of the game. Up to that point, for us, games had been board games like Monopoly, Life, chess, right? Where you've got 8 squares this way and 8 squares this way, and you are limited to that terrain, and you can only move in specific ways, right? A bishop can only move diagonally. So you had all these constraints. And this was the first time that we saw a game where there didn't seem to be any constraints. Sure, there were the laws of physics, but no real constraints. You could kind of do whatever you wanted to do. And that just amazed us. And so we dove down that rabbit hole of playing Dungeons and Dragons. And I went through the beginning stages of advanced D&D and then into version 3 and 3.5, which I absolutely loved. And I was getting older and older and work and everything, and even had gotten married, but I continued playing. And then 4 came, and it kind of gave me a bad taste in my mouth. And it wasn't even anything related to OGL or SRD or any of that stuff. It was just, I didn't like how crunchy it had become. I didn't like, it almost felt like we were being more controlled than we were. I don't know, something about it. Maybe it was just also my age. Maybe I felt like I was outgrowing the game or whatever. But I fell away from it. I didn't really play 4. We had played like 2 sessions, and then I was like, I'm done. There's too much here, and it just doesn't feel, it's too clunky. I did dabble in GURPS then at that stage, Steve Jackson's game, the generic universal role-playing game, and loved that, loved sort of the openness and everything, but again, it was very crunchy. A couple of years later, a friend introduced me to a game called Savage Worlds by PEG, Pinnacle Entertainment Group, and I kind of fell back in love with role-playing. I started remembering what I had loved about it in my earlier youth. And so I got back involved with role-playing games. And then 5e came out. And D&D for me was kind of back. It was everything that 4 wasn't, if you will. It felt more along the lines of 3.5, and everything was magical. And gosh, they finally got it right with the IT side. Companies like D&D Beyond, who had the character creation stuff and everything, just made it so much easier to access. Character creation was easier than ever. So I fell in love once again with Dungeons and Dragons, and I joined it. At this stage now, I'm a dungeon master for 7 games, and also a player in several games. And so I've really become, if you will, addicted to D&D Beyond. And that's when, just a couple weeks ago, this whole fiasco kind of started. And I'm a nobody, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that, I'm not any of the guys who are out there doing all of this game creation. And sure, I've homebrewed and I've created my own game system setting type stuff for D&D and everything. But I'm nothing like the people who are currently seem to be fighting for their livelihood over this OGL thing. For me, the OGL, what it really boils down to is there's some really cool content out there, and I've bought a lot of it. And it is all related around people who have added to the game of 5e by bringing their own content to it. And I want to support those creators. I follow a lot of them on YouTube. Bob the Builder and Matthew Coville, and I watch the Critical Role things. So many others, Jenny D, all of these really awesome, Mike Shea, I mean, D&D Shorts, Treat Monk. I feel like they've all added so much to my game that now it's my turn as a lowly user to support them, to show my support. And sometimes showing support is painful. Well, in this case, it does happen to be painful because I am addicted to D&D Beyond. I mean, it does so much for me. It's unbelievable the amount of stuff that it does for me. But I'm also addicted to and love the many creators out there that I follow and find game information from. And so I want to take that little bit of pain that it's going to take to cancel my D&D Beyond subscription. I have the master tier, the top level tier of D&D Beyond. Today I'm going to cancel that. Now, I one caveat or sort of in transparency, I do believe that by canceling, I still get to keep my membership until it gets to the renewal point. So there's sort of like a little bit of me that's like, it's okay to cancel at this stage. If I panic and can go back or whatever, my hope is that I'll stay strong and keep my cancellation in place until either D&D fixes this situation with the OGL and all of this crap that they've put forward, or that I'll at least be strong enough to keep my cancellation in place. Now, that said, you can still use D&D Beyond with no subscription, so I can't guarantee full compliance with completely moving away from D&D Beyond, but that is my hope. The other thing is there's a movie coming out in March. I and a bunch of my friends have all been super excited about this. And I was planning on seeing it on the big screen, but at this stage, I don't see how that's possible. I'm not going to contribute. I, by the way, own all of the 5e books. I've spent thousands. I'm not unlike any of you other hobby folks out there who've done this, but I've spent thousands on this hobby, maybe 10,000, including all of my Dwarven Forge and things like that. But some of that stuff will carry over to other game systems that I'll start using instead of D&D. But yeah, I don't see seeing the movie in March. Maybe I wait until the summer or something like that. I do really want to see the movie. I'm excited about it. It has so much to offer for somebody like me, but I feel like I also have to stay strong through this time. And it's going to hurt in some ways. And one of those ways I'm going to go through right now. I'm going to show you guys not only me canceling, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information of how to do it yourself if you're planning on doing it. So if you go into my characters, you'll see all of the characters that you've created, and you want to make sure that you export those PDFs, because I wouldn't want, I know the membership that I have, I think it allows me unlimited, right? Yeah, so unlimited slots. But if I don't have that, I think it's going to drop me down to, I don't know, maybe 5 or something. My memory's not great on this stuff, but I do know that you don't have unlimited slots anymore. So I'm afraid that some of these guys will end up having to be deleted, or maybe they'll automatically get deleted. I don't know how it works. But so the first thing that I would do, and I've already done it for all of my other guys, I just left one so that I could give you an example of it. The first thing that I would do is I would go in and edit my character, go to what's next. And I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Export to PDF, and then click to download. And then that's going to put that in my downloads folder, right? Now, the one thing that I don't like, I guess it makes sense that they use this serial number, but I immediately rename these when they come out because I don't memorize those serial numbers. And then what I do is I move it over. I've got a D&D Beyond backups for my characters. So I move that over there. Now that I've backed up all my characters, I mean, I still have homebrew stuff and things like that I've created, but I'm not going to worry about that. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and see. So my tier is master. I guess maybe okay. It doesn't. That's kind of weird to me because it's like you were logged in, but in order to do anything, you got to log in again. But anyway, let's go ahead and do that. Then let's go over and look at my subscription. I don't know if you can tell, but now I'm starting to get nervous. Here it is. Dun dun dun. WoTC, Hasbro, D&D Beyond. I love the product that you guys have given me for 45 years of my life. I've basically been in and out of playing hundreds of games and tons of fun. But today, hopefully, I can make my voice heard by showing you that I'm going to cancel my subscription. It's not too expensive. Not by a long shot. It does not lack features. I would say subscription is for me. I don't want to use an alternative service. There's not poor customer support. Customer support has been fine. No technical issues. And it's not that I'm not interested. I guess I'm going to have to say other. Maybe you guys should add one to here that says, we're dipshits. And you're unsubscribing because of that. Because that's what I'm doing. You have broken my heart. As a 45-year-long player, I must back away until at least you fix the shit show you have created. Hopefully, it will get remedied in a fair way, and I will return. 45 years. And I've been through ups and downs with you guys. There's been some crazy stuff. No, I don't change my mind. I cancel my subscription. So it says I'll lose the ability to create unlimited characters, use early access, and play with public created homebrew content on May 4th. Just a few months away. But I was correct. So it is going to let me keep it until my annual subscription ends. And with that, my friends, I have canceled my subscription. Hopefully more of you can join me on this quest. And the last thing that I wanted to do... All right, so here is a clip from D&D Shorts where he tells us what hashtags to use and also just a little message of what you can do to help support in this. So this is what I'm going to be doing, and I'm offering this information to you guys in case you're interested in it as well.
Mostly, the people at Wizards of the Coast are on our side. The company is literally tearing itself apart, and we need to keep up the pressure. That means Twitter, Reddit, sharing videos, talking to your friends in real life, and most importantly, cancelling your D&D Beyond subscription. The trending hashtags are OpenD&D, Stop the Sub, and D&D Be Gone. Use the money you save from D&D Beyond and get yourself something nice from a company who respects you and appreciates you. D&D Beyond is only there to be turned into a microtransaction hellhole anyway. Take
He definitely has a way with his words, and he cracks me up with a lot of his stuff. It breaks my heart to see guys like this, so much talent, so much magic in some of these YouTube channels, and they're literally being torn apart. I think the breaking point for me was watching Ginny D this morning, and she was almost in tears as she explained the situation from her perspective in a short video. You guys should look that one up as well. It's heart-wrenching. Anyway, hopefully you'll join me in this crusade, and even more hopefully this actually does something and Hasbro and WoTC wakes up and fixes this shit show. Thanks.